Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. How are you all doing today? Let's drop the brightness on my face just a tad. Huh? We are here tonight, right now, for episode 2 of Big Brother 27. The second part of the premiere episode, really, I think, is kind of the thing. Here's the plan for tonight. Here's the plan. We're watching the episode. Then we're doing the podcast. I'm coming off the stream, doing the podcast. Then coming back on the stream. Probably not directly after the podcast, but at some point after the podcast. And that will kick off roughly 24 hours of live streaming. We'll probably jump on a bit before, would be the plan. I'll be streaming while the feeds launch. We'll watch night 1 together. I will stay up as late as possible to basically until we feel like they're going to bed or there's just nothing happening anymore. Then, try to get a couple hours in, wake up, check back in, do the update, and then for the rest of the day tomorrow as well, we will keep watch. If nothing happens, listen, we'll hang out. It'll be a good time. I've still got plenty to talk about. We can talk about the book. We can talk about, we can talk about theories, trying to figure out what's going on. Maybe get some guests in. Maybe Puya will stop by. Play some games if we need to. There's things we can do. There will be a roundtable tomorrow as well. I think we're gonna maybe just play it by ear in terms of like when the feed ends or when the stream ends tomorrow. Whether it's just gonna end before I go into the roundtable, which would mean that we're technically starting the stream like right now, or if I like come back for a little bit afterward just to end it. Just kind of depends on where the momentum is, I guess. But basically, the plan is, if you are watching on YouTube, the plan is to do the stream because it's going to be longer than 12 hours. I think the plan is to do the stream on Twitch. Twitch only. As of right now. Hold on, we can talk more as well. But the episode, I think, is about to start. And here we are.
16 new house guests began the battle for $750,000. Among them, the Dreamboat, the Attorney, the Bull Rider,
Hold on, hold on.
And the Dungeon Master.
Oh, it's
You're still hearing all this, right?
With the new players,
I don't want you to hear all of this.
Hotel Mystère,
What secrets lurk behind the walls?
a baffling black.
There it goes. Okay, okay. I wanted you to hear a little bit of it, not that much of it. Yeah, let's run a prediction. Commercial by 5:15. Let me see if I have this. Not working. There it is. It's roughly where I am. Oh, you know, no, should we do a prediction of who the accomplice is? Hold on. Maybe we cancel this. What if they show the accomplice right away? There are a lot of options, but we could narrow them. All right, we'll take a risk. We'll take a risk. We'll leave the current prediction. I think they're going to show it to us, though. I think they're going to show it to us right away. That's my prediction. I think I missed the boat. I think I should have done it earlier because now I'm worried that if they are showing it right away, then we'll just see it too soon to run a proper prediction, probably. A shower? Got some like alterations to the music going on. I mean, let's be real though. Like, you can't trust them. No, yes, you can. What do you mean you can't trust them? It means nothing. It was a role given to them. One second. It's got to be none of the people they've said so far, right? It being everyone would be pretty funny. Oh, they're just voting right away? Or are they just still giving this a suspicion? This sounds like voting. Lauren is smart. I didn't realize this would go so quickly. I thought this would be like a couple of days kind of thing. Man, people just are so confidently wrong about these kinds of things. So here's the deal. Riley, clearly somebody that they're all looking, not feeling great about. Instincts. It's not Lauren. I thought it might be Lauren. I thought it might be Lauren. Clearly, she would have been a good pick. Clearly, she's the only one in that house thinking, I think, fairly logically. So if it had been Lauren, would have been a good pick. All right. Commercial by 5:15. No. Or yes. Sorry, it was it was a yes. Next prediction. Okay. Who is the accomplice? We're gonna go Morgan. We're gonna go Amy. We'll put in Riley, since they're all suspecting Riley. Who else should I put in here? Who have they not? Zay, they were suspicious of. I'm not going to put Lauren because she just blatantly said it wasn't her. Kelly, we could put. She's been kind of leading a charge. Ava. Vince. I'll put in Lauren. I'll put in Lauren just in case. Because what if she's lying to us? I mean, I doubt it at this point. It'd be weird for them to actively lie in the diary room only to reveal it in a second that it's not. But Keanu. And then I'll put other. So here's what I got. Morgan, Amy, Riley, Zay, Kelly, Ava, Vince, Lauren, Keanu, other. Should I trade Lauren for somebody? Mickey? I could, oh, you know what? I'll trade Lauren for Mickey. Because they did show her talking to Mickey a decent amount. All right, 1 minute on the clock. I'm going to run this until we find out, which I assume will be soon, but theoretically. So hopefully we have most of the top suspects, but obviously other manages to carry a lot of weight here because it's basically anybody else. And yet, Amy still massively popular pick so far, with Morgan being second place. Everyone really thinks it's Amy. I mean, so there has been some theorizing on Blue Sky and Twitter about Amy possibly being suspect. I think primarily from what I've seen because they feel like she had something in her pocket. All right, we're back. Here we go. I'm assuming they guessed Riley. Only 2 people were named, Riley and Zay. Why? They already told us who the two people were. Why did they drag that out? I ain't going a damn place. We know it's not him. Come on. I'm just trying to not look at the chat right now. Okay. Oh, I thought the accomplice was going to get something else. He really should. Don't be pissy. Be magnanimous. The case of the mystery accomplice. All right, the rewind. This is definitely implying Amy, given the footage of the potential thing in the pocket, if they're showing footage. Showing the first four, of which Amy is one of them. And there it goes. The remote. This whole thing, you have to do some listen, you're on the cast, but you got to do some tasks for us in order to be really on the cast. All right. Don't doubt the internet. It was, in fact, Amy who was the accomplice. Okay, next prediction then. Do we get an HOH room reveal? Actually, what I'll do specifically, who wants to see my HOH room? Is that phrase said? And you know what? We'll make it even spicier. Is that phrase said exactly? Who wants to see my HOH room? It's like if you do a Google search and you put it in quotes. I'm going to need it exact. You can have stuff before and after, but I need that exact bit of phrasing. That's the prediction. Can it be Tussy? As long as they make a valiant effort at saying the words. Question about the book. You heard I was saying about pre-orders being really important. Do Amazon pre-orders make more of an impact than the signed copies? I asked this. Basically the answer is not really. Like more orders on Amazon will be good for Amazon. But I think that ordering in any way is like ordering the signed copies is good for other reasons. So it's all like pluses and minuses, I think. So I would say don't feel like you have to buy a certain version of it. But yeah, buying from a local bookstore, very nice. Independent bookstores, that's a plus. I believe so. My understanding is, I talked about this a little bit. Yeah, like the general consensus is if you want like minimum amount of books to sell if you want to be on like a New York Times bestseller list, which isn't a guarantee anyway, is 5,000. That's like minimum. That's like you don't even get looked at unless you're at least there. And even then it's like a lot of stuff is dependent on a lot of stuff. I don't actually know how much we've sold so far. I know from Catapult, from the local bookstore, that we have 1,300 pre-orders. So I will be signing 1,300 books at least. So that's pretty cool. That is where most people have ordered from. So Amazon has actually sold less than that. I would assume by a decent margin. But maybe we can get to like 2,000. Maybe we're close to 2,000. Maybe we're at like a bit under 2,000 if you combine both, combine everything. I'm gonna make bank. I'm actually not. I did the math the other day. I would have to sell. Hold on, we're back. I would have to sell like, I think 15,000 books before I start making any additional money on this. This is where we are. Go back to Alabama. Yeah, every book Catapult order is signed as long as it's a pre-order. In a past life, aren't you like 25? He's 27. I think you can say past life at 27. I think that's fair. Chocolate drop. Oh boy. A pesky solicitor? That would just instantly annoy me. I'd be like, oh, you're one of those people that annoys me? Oh! Oh, Adrian! You know, I was like, he's doing all right. You know, it's like, you're always on edge when men talk about women. And I was like, you know, he's doing all right. And then he hit the for 33. Oh, here we go. They're fraternal. I knew it. The implication that she got so excited. Oh, I thought she wasn't going to tell people she traveled so much. We had a whole introduction segment, and we did not, in fact, get Who Wants to See My HOH Room. That's a no. But let's run it back. Same one, exact quote. So let's see. Who did they really focus on here? Yeah, whose intro did we not see? Because they're probably safe from nomination. Didn't see Vince and Ava. They're pretty present in the episodes though. Catherine, but she did have a big segment on Riley. Is there anyone who just haven't seen? I feel like other than the Accomplice stuff, we haven't really seen much of Amy. Will has been pretty quiet. Like, who do we think they're setting up so far? We did get a reminder about Jimmy wanting to target Rachel. We did get Lauren talking about it being a woman, the accomplice. That could be good. That could also be bad. Like we could be setting Lauren up to like introduce her as a smart threat, and that's why she gets nominated. Obviously Riley's going to be a pretty good option given that a lot of people thought he was the accomplice. He did get exonerated, which might actually... So this is what I was going to say before. Like, the fact that Riley was exonerated may help him in this first week, where, like, before, if there was no accomplice twist, he might have been an early pick for nominee. You know, like a lot of people just not vibing with him. But the fact that he was exonerated might actually protect him a little bit, might actually give him a little bit of extra wiggle room. And it's actually Zay, yeah, who's actually probably in the worst spot here as somebody who is also suspected but not cleared. Weirdly, if you are Riley or Zay, you actually want the majority of votes on you so that you can be exonerated. All right, we're back. Slay Deve. Oh. Wow, that was intense. Are we just doing Mystere the whole time? Have not right away. Oh, she's going to be safe. Yeah. First week. Have-nots are all safe. How do you become a have-not? Okay. So we are doing friendship bracelets. A little bit we're doing friendship bracelets. It's not as bad, but we're a little bit doing friendship bracelets. Does anyone want to? Jimmy didn't raise his hand. Can we just talk about how Jimmy did not raise his hand about wanting safety? Amy didn't either. Rachel picks Will. I'll say it. That's a bit of a strange choice. Will, probably not the most likely person to win a comp. And then he picks Zach, and now all of a sudden this is turning into a bit of a bro fest. Potentially. I mean, this is huge for every one of them. It's really huge. Being safe in the first week. You could basically argue that it's comparable to being the HOH in the first week. Fewer downsides, fewer upsides, but very good. I mean, I'll say this about the pick. I think that was honestly not even very close to friendship bracelets. She had to on the spot choose one person and then had zero input on anybody else. She didn't get to interview people. She didn't get to plan out who was going to be picked. It's still very good that she gets safety. It's still decently good that she got to pick one person. But I actually kind of feel like she fumbled the one pick. The beds remind her of her boyfriend? Jimmy. Jimmy, whip the vote? There's no vote. She's not on the ballot, dude. And now he's talking about Rachel being a threat. with one of the people who is in the have not room with her. Super fans. Wait, so you found your person on the show? Yeah, maybe you should have picked Lauren, man. Oh. Yeah. Downstairs. Can he use it? Are we gold barring it? By your safety. So it's not a bribe. It's just a backup veto. It's just a backup veto that pays you 10K if you don't need to use it. Once again, it's no to Who Wants to See My HOH Room. The question is, should we run it back one more time? At this point, I feel like we have to. I'm not forcing you to keep saying yes. Drex, thank you for the 3 months in advance. Okay, so we're reversing it once again. I previously said that I was wrong about Zach trying to win that power. I now will say I was wrong about being wrong and that I was in fact right and that he should have tried to win that power. Because now he has a really good power. It's a very good power. He's immune this week. He's going to have at least one other week of immunity. And the only downside is that he maybe has a little bit of a target on his back because he won 10K, but he's safe this week, so it barely even matters anyway. Meanwhile, Jimmy was able to pick who plays in the HOH, which I would say is very powerful. But given the timeline of how it played out, I would say not as powerful as this. There's a world where Jimmy's power is more powerful than this. But because they had to do it fairly quickly, he didn't really get to like plot out exactly who should be picked and why. In the same way that like Rachel's ability to choose people for safety was not super powerful because she had to stand up and do it right away. It would be extremely silly of Zach to tell somebody about his power. I mean, I say that there are worlds where it makes sense, but but basically, if it gets out, it's just a free 10K for any HOH. Right? Like, it's just like, oh, all I have to do is nominate you. And I get a free 10K. Now, there is some downside, right? Like, if you do that to him and force him to use it, he'll be pretty mad at you and he'll still be in the game. That's not going to be great. I personally kind of feel like I would rather this be 10K he can bribe people with. Like, hey, if you don't nominate me, I will give you my $10,000. And then see if that's like actually a strong enough incentive to, you know, keep you safe. All right, we're back. Why is Jimmy acting like the HOH right now? So we have the most anti-Rachel person and the most pro-Rachel person in an alliance together. I'm just really feeling like who's gonna get nominated. I feel like they haven't set anyone up other than Jimmy or so far. Ooh. Oh, wow. Guys, I think Vince just scammed you out of a win. I think Vince just screwed you all over. If I Googled who wants to see my HOH room in quotes, I would not see any returns of who wants to see my head of household room. Also, who says that? It's such a weird way to say that. Now I dislike Vince. So no. So a lot of people saw this coming. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is actually exactly what Rachel should be doing. This is very meta appropriate. Now, all this, like, she still will need to find some comp allies that she can use and then throw out. Oh no. Is this the drama? What is happening? That was shady of Catherine. That was real shady. Oh boy. Boy. Ashley, what are you doing taking such a long shower? Let's go. Amy's on Ashley's side. That means we're getting Rachel on her side. Come on. Mm, I don't love that reaction from Ashley. Oh no. Oh no. That's Ashley. Ashley. This is very easy. You go straight to Vince. You go straight to Vince and you clear it up with him because he's the only one that matters. You should not be talking to Catherine. Ashley. Oh boy. Listen, this feels so clear to me. You go straight to Vince. You go, "Oh my god, Vince. I'm so embarrassed. I didn't even realize last night that I had taken a shower before you and I was in there for so long. I'm such a dummy. I'm so sorry. That was so inconsiderate of me." And Vince, as long as he's a reasonable person, goes, don't worry about it. We're all, we're all new here. We're all nervous. And then if other people go to Vince to be like, "Hey, Vince, can you believe Ashley in her shower? You should nominate her." He's going to be like, "I don't know. I kind of feel fine about it." And then they're the ones that are going to feel like they're trying to push something and cause drama. But if you go to Catherine and you say, "Hey, Catherine, what's going on? Why are you talking about my showers?" Now all of a sudden, Catherine's like, "Hey, Ashley's now causing drama with me about the shower thing. And now it looks like you're the instigator." This should be handled Vince. Vince is the one. He is the aggrieved party. All right, next prediction. Do we hear the word shower? I only need it once. It feels like there's decent odds we hear the word shower, but and this is in the next segment, of course. But you never know. Sometimes you could be surprised. Now I will need, again, this is in quotes, shower. Shower gate? No. That is at best hyphenated. Showers? Mm-mm. No, sir. Showered? Mm-mm. All right, we're back. Vince is going to call it a bath. I like how you say horrendous. And they do that every season. Oh, look at the big guys making themselves targets. But then the big guys win every competition, and then they're everybody's favorite all of a sudden. Not talking about showers yet. That's all I'm going to say. The Accomplice reasoning, not bad. Hey, there are a bunch of people that voted Zay. It's a great excuse to put him on the block. And Ashley, off the table. Come on. Keanu's a nerd. Let's go, Kelly. Good vibes. That's what I'm saying. She's not about to volunteer, is she? Don't even. Don't. No. No. I never want to hear it again. Never again is anyone ever going to tell me, oh no, it's not about super fans. No, recruits can be good too. Never. You know what? I don't want to watch the show. I don't want to watch the show because I want to come in with a fresh perspective. You know, I feel like the more I know about the show, the worse I'll do. I want to be able to have a fresh perspective on how to play this game. Big time results on the prediction. No shower. A lot of you just got trapped by the shower. Big money. Next prediction. What should be the next prediction? Does Rachel have a DR? She's been a little quiet last couple segments. I don't think we're doing nominations yet. That would, I would assume, be in the final segment. I assume this next segment will be setting up an additional person to go on the block. We still need to find our target. I guess we did set up the target potentially being Zay. So if we have Zay, we have Kelly. We need the third nominee. Could be Ashley. It's also possible that Ashley just had the most amount of drama. And that was why we got that segment. Riley makes a lot of sense, obviously, but he was exonerated. Yes, we were just reminded that he made a deal with Ashley. But Jimmy tried to kind of negate it a little bit. I don't know if you noticed. Jimmy was basically saying like, yeah, we made a deal, but everyone's going to offer you a deal. I don't think that's smart, though. I don't think that you should be going back on a deal you made first thing. I think that's a terrible idea. Ideal. Could be Keanu. Zach is safe. Riley was exonerated. They were talking about that group. The thing about Keanu, though, is that like if you do put up a second bro, it does make you look like you're going after the bros as opposed to just putting up accomplice suspects. Up and at the madam. Thank you for the 3 months in advance. I appreciate that. I mean, I'll give Jimmy this. I do think his head is in the right place. Maybe I should say his heart is in the right place. He's looking to target these big comp threats, and he's looking to target the returning player. Those are all correct things to do. What worries me is the confidence with which he's doing some of it. Talking about Rachel so openly, so early, when she's not even an option. And talking about how he's got the ear of the HOH. If he gets away with it, he's all right. But he was leaving around a lot of loose threads, theoretically. I should also say, for as bad a move as it is for Kelly to volunteer, it's equally bad for Vince to nominate her. All right, we're back. Maybe not equally bad, but it's also very bad. The shower thing. It skipped a segment. Vince basically just doing the "Are you a dummy?" check. And Zay is like, no. Damn. Oh, now he's going to try it with Keanu? Uh-oh. Oh, boy. I feel like him sticking up for Ashley is going to be better than Ashley sticking up for Ashley at this point. See, this is what I mean. Oh, why is she so paranoid? Oh man, I can't believe she's so annoying and paranoid. Classic gaslighter tactics. This is it's so fascinating how people function. Vince can play this up all he wants, but basically what's happening is that he's being convinced, pun intended, not really, to go against his word, and put somebody on the block that he has a deal with and that he theoretically felt good with. And he's being convinced because a bunch of people are telling him to. And he's trying to like pretty it up like it's not that, but that's what it is, right? Like we can see it exactly what's happening. And listen, I see what's happening in the chat. I very much, as you already saw, fully criticized the way that she handled the situation with Catherine. Very willing to dunk on Ashley here. I don't think she's doing much wrong in what they just edited. They very clearly edited it to make it seem like it was the most obnoxious thing ever, but she was just trying to get in to talk to him. And then was specifically told, like, you're an option to be nominated, which of course would mean that you're going to go up and talk to him or want to talk to him. And him acting like that's being so extra and that she's being paranoid and not talking to him is wild, right? Like that's actually wild. I think that you're all genuinely, anyone that is, I think that many of you are being swayed by the edit. I think that she was edited to be annoying in this segment. Remember very vividly about all of the, and this is another thing too, because it often happens with Black women. Not that that's necessarily part of this particular situation, but many players who did not have feeds in the first week are edited to be very annoying when there is a house consensus against them. And we literally saw in the first episode, people were pointing this out, that they edited her diary room to say, I don't want to win this HOH, and then edited it like a few minutes later to say, I do want to win this HOH. Right? Like, you can't just take these things at face value. All they showed to us was her ringing the door and coming in and asking to talk, which I'm sure a ton of people did. The shower thing, clearly an annoying thing for her to have done. talking to Catherine, I think was a mistake. But trying to talk to Vince is being played up. Rachel did not have a DR, by the way. What do you mean, why are you crying? This guy's an idiot. I'm very unimpressed by Vince. Final DR. Actually, yeah. We don't have time to do a nomination prediction. Vince, Rachel, Ashley, Zay, Amy, other. There's Zay. There's Amy. And Ashley? I mean, if he doesn't nominate Kelly, I'll give him some credit. There's Ashley. Wow. I mean, what a fumble. I don't think she's going to go anywhere. Famous last words. Saying you're okay with Ashley going home because now she's going to be mad at you is such a silly thing to say. That's like saying I created a problem and if it goes away, that's good for me. It's like, well, don't create the problem. It's like, and why are you coming out saying it's not about the shower thing? That's Ashley was the final DR. Sounded like. Next episode is 90 minutes, and then the eviction is going to be 60. And then from that point, I believe, and then from that point forward, only Wednesday episodes are 90 minutes, I believe. All right, so we just saw all of that. We're gonna go and do a podcast about it, but in roughly 3 hours, potentially none of that matters. In roughly 3 hours, we are likely going to see a whole bunch of changes. In fact, it would be pretty surprising if what we just saw was still anywhere close to the status quo. I will say, let's do a quick like report card. Let's do a quick report card on the cast. I just have my cast list here in front of me. Adrian, doing fine. I mean, what are you doing about why are you saying for 33? What are you doing? But he's fine. Adrian's fine. Amy, the accomplice, just got nominated. She is working with Rachel, which is not terrible, but I do not like the way that she tried to campaign for Ashley, saying she's like my friend and I want to leave if she goes home. Like, what are you doing? Bad news for Ashley, for Amy, sorry. Ashley, also bad news. For as much as I will defend her for this whole gaslighty, you're being paranoid thing, she did do a genuine faux pas, which was the shower thing. And according to what we saw, at least, did not handle it as well as she could have. Now, that being said, caveat of perhaps there are some other, things. Can we put up photos? Actually, I might be able to if you give me a second. I don't have too much time because I got to get to the podcast, but Steph did make a good image here. If I can quickly throw it up. There we go. And look at that. It's mostly in alphabetical order as well. So Ashley, like I said, I do think, according to what we saw, did make some mistakes. Not feeling great about that. She's also nominated. We will see where things go from there. Ava, chosen to be safe this week. That was very good. Very, very good news for her. Otherwise, was a pretty quiet episode for Ava. So like personally, I don't know exactly like how well she's doing, but she's in a very good position, I will say. Will also safe, similar to Ava, seems to be doing decently socially as well. Feeling good about Will. Feeling good about Will so far. Zay. Eek. Not great. The fact that Zay is like a big buff dude who everyone is like chill with targeting is not great news for Zay. He will probably want to be winning either a veto or a BB blockbuster competition if he wants to stick around. However, what I will say is I didn't see him do anything overtly incorrect. He just seems to be giving off a vibe that is not great. Jimmy. Saw some bad things from Jimmy, but I think he's fine, seemingly. Jimmy, I would say, has the most upside right now, the most potential power in the game, but he also has some downsides and could be in some danger. But overall, I think that more than balances it out, and I think he's fine for now. That said, I would not be shocked if the feeds come on and Jimmy's in trouble. Catherine. What did I tell you about Catherine? I told you she's got iron in her. And right out of the gates, she's throwing shade at Ashley publicly. And then Ashley tries to come back at her and she says, excuse me, no, you're not. I think that was not the best game move necessarily, but it's very hard to know exactly where she stands. I like the confirmation that she's got that iron in her, but I'm going to have to wait and see if it's going to get her into trouble or if it's going to help her in the game. Keanu doesn't seem to be well connected at this point. Seems to be lumped in with the bros, and everyone seems to be chill with targeting the bros. So, given that he was broing it up with Zay early on, and Zay is now theoretically a target, that's not great for Keanu. I think that this was not a great episode for Keanu. Although what I will say is it was pretty good that he didn't get nominated. But when I said that he was giving Shelltown in the premiere, he is now in a position where his allies on the block, just like Austin was in the position where his ally Jace was on the block in the first week. So Kelly, love the confirmation that my read on her vibe was exactly on point. Hate that we got confirmation that my read on her game savvy was also unfortunately on point. What are you doing? Get out of here. Lauren, I thought, had a great episode. I think she came off very well. My only issue is that I didn't really see her other than the beginning, and I don't really know who she's aligned with, what kind of group she's in. I don't know where she stands, but I feel good about her as a player. Mickey. I feel like I barely saw Mickey in this episode. I don't really have a lot of thoughts at this point. I think she seems fine. She was with Jimmy, with Morgan and Jimmy. I think that's a pretty good spot. I'm going to upgrade Mickey. I think she's doing well if she's in that little group with Jimmy. he's more likely to take a downfall than her if something goes wrong. And if something goes right, then she's in a position to benefit from it. Same thing with Morgan. Very similar position for Morgan. Riley, not great. Not great. They all voted that he was the accomplice. He was exonerated, which is good for him, but he's also being lumped in with the bros, which is seemingly bad for him at the moment. I would say not great episode for Riley. Vince. I was not impressed with Vince. Not impressed at all with Vince in this episode. He was apparently willing to nominate Kelly. That could be fake. This whole gaslighty, come up with a reason for why it's okay that I'm turning my back on Ashley kind of thing. Literally, just say it's the shower thing. Just say everyone told me I should nominate you because of the shower thing. I'm sorry. That would have been better than what he just did, in my opinion. On top of that, he is seemingly doing the house's bidding at the moment with no actual backing from the house. Like, who is he aligned with other than potentially Jimmy, who has an actual alliance that doesn't include him? There's a good chance we're just missing some of this stuff, but based on what I saw in this episode, I was not impressed. Yeah, definitely gave me like a Daniel Durston first HOH for sure, actually. In terms of the strategy. Zach. I actually feel pretty good about Zach out of this episode. He seems to be in a position where people do like him. He is very safe. And he has this cool power. I think Zach is one of the top contenders coming out of this episode. And then, of course, there's Rachel. We actually think we didn't really see that much of Rachel, which is kind of weird. I like where her head is at. But given that her closest ally seems to be Amy, and Amy is now on the block, it's not great. And given that Jimmy is coming for her, and hasn't been called out for it, that's not great. That's not great. So where is her power base? What is she doing? Those are questions that are left unanswered. And I would say especially if we're grading on a curve for what we should expect from a returning player in this position, I would say not great, quite frankly. But she is safe this week and she has some runway, and you should expect that she should be able to pick up some pieces. I would expect that when the feeds kick up, we will see her in a better position. But as far as the episode showed, not amazing, I would say. Should be better. That's my quick report card based on the episode. What will be fun is to see how much that changes immediately when the feeds come on. Just to see not only how things change, but also how different they can be from how they're portrayed in an episode. The feeds could come on and Vince could be my favorite player in the first 30 minutes. You know what I mean? So I'm going to head over to the podcast. I will be back to kick off the 24-hour stream. Right now, I believe we are going to stick to Twitch, and we'll run it for the 24 hours, and see where things go from there. We'll have some fun. We'll see what happens on the feeds, and I'll see you all very soon on the podcast.